Hi everyone, Chillax here and welcome back to another Anchor Panic video. So as you can see before you, for 1 week lasting between now to January 28th, we will have an opportunity to summon for Ifrit's rerun banner. And I think this is noteworthy because Ifrit happens to be one of the core operators in any dedicated mono quantum team that wants to score very high across Union, Siege, or Entropy Cataclysm. Notably Entropy Cataclysm, because for free-to-play players that is going to be your best source of Stellaron Resonance bottles. So the structure of this video will be as follows. First we'll go over whether to pull or pass on this banner. We'll go over her skill kit and signature sigil, along with her optimal model sets and stats, as well as optimal signature sigil and powers and alternative sigils. And then we will wrap things up with a PvP showcase. So without further ado, let's begin. So should you summon for her? I would say that if by now you haven't secured a copy of Ifrit or her signature sigil, I think if you have the tickets to spare and you plan on skipping Crag and Dwalin, then I think it makes a ton of sense to secure one copy of Ifrit and her signature sigil to ensure that you have the best possible shot to score decently well in Entropy Cataclysm for those valuable resonance bottles, because the Stellaron system is the latest system that was introduced in the previous update, version 1.7, which allows you to really enhance the stats of your dedicated your precious operators. So Ifrit is a cornerstone for the mono quantum team because she has the ability to boost the energy burst as well as crit damage of your allies, and heck, even add quantum damage to your allies' skills. And on top of that, she's one of the most effective breakers in the game, being able to vaporize tenacity gauges faster than any other breaker for global. And she's one of the most future-proof quantum supports in the game as well. And she's not even a support, she's a breaker, so she's even better. So anyways, I highly recommend you get Ifrit if you don't have her already, even if you're a free-to-play player. And if you're a whale and you don't have her Ascension 3, I highly recommend you get her Ascension 3. In my case, I already had her Ascension 3, and as you can see, I spent some tickets to get her Ascension 6, and it was well worth it, I think. It'll really boost my Entropy Cataclysm score. So yeah, I think very highly of Ifrit. I underestimated her the first time around, and a lot of my guild mates, including myself, had planned to get more copies of her. And this is her special skin, very spicy lady. As you can see here, this is the skin that you can purchase if you are a low spender. You know, a very spicy skin for a very sassy lady, as you can see here. This is one of my most favorite skins, animated skins we have. And alright, let's take a deep dive into her kit. So her talent 1, at the start of each round, allies within a 3x3 grid increases their energy burst damage by 7.5% up to 3 stacks. The effect is enhanced by 40% for same element operators. So ideally, you want to run Ifrit in a mono quantum team. That way they all get at least 10% energy burst boost per stack. So yes, you can give all your quantum allies more than 30% energy burst by as early as round 2, which is pretty insane. And thanks to her talent 2, it allows you to get these special stacks, energy burst stacks, even faster. And you know, the more ascensions you have of her, the more stacks that you can acquire. And actually, by increasing your stack limit, you do end up with yeah, you can boost your energy burst by up to 50%, maybe even more with her Ascensions. So it's pretty nuts. And then with her skill, it's a single target skill. Energy burst, it's a linear attack. that has a chance to inflict Vitality Collapse, a 70% chance, which is a pretty high chance, being able to lower the enemy's quantum resistance by 18% for 2 turns. Yeah, so in PvE content, you can just restart the game until you basically do Vitality Collapse every 2 turns when she energy bursts. It makes it so that the overall damage output of your quantum operators reaches insane levels, especially if you combine her with, say, like Newcastle, who already boosts surrounding allies quantum damage by 18%, and then also with Strain, whose, you know, adrenaline buffs provide a really chunky attack buffs scaling off of her own attack. Yeah, it gets, the quantum team ends up doing insane amounts of damage when you have Ifrit, you got Newcastle, you got your Tia, you got your Strain, you got your Turn. Yeah, check out my Entropy Cataclysm video if you want to see the best Ifrit PvE team in action. And then with regards to her Ascensions, if you get her Ascension 3 or 6, after each action grants allies in a 3x3 grid around her gravity attachment, in which they get extra 3% crit damage and a portion of Ifrit's attack as corrosion damage to skill attacks. So if you are a whale, or if you got lucky and got her Ascension 3, then your model build recommendation will be slightly different. Because if you have her Ascension 3, all of a sudden Ifrit's attack does matter, and you know, for the additional corrosion damage whenever you cast a skill. So for this reason, there is merit to running, instead of crit rate crit damage, base attack percent and attack for the model set, the model 5 and 6 respectively. So that's something to note. And by the way, this ability is more effective for quantum operators, so you end up with like 5%, almost 5% crit damage boost, and like even more corrosion damage. Yeah, and then for her signature Sigil, base attack, and then one of the most valuable universal abilities in the game, every action grants allies within a 9 grid area, so basically the entire side of your field, with an energy boost, in which the energy burst damage increases by 4% and the quantum damage increases by 2%, lasting until the end of battle, up to 3 stacks. So yes, with her signature Sigil, you can give your entire team up to 12% energy burst boost and 2% quantum damage boost, or 6% quantum damage boost. Insane. This can be anyone, doesn't even have to be Ifrit equipping this. And when equipped by Ifrit, the chance of triggering Vitality Collapse increases from 70% from her energy burst to 80%. Yes, so you have an 80% chance with her signature Sigil equipped to lower the enemy's quantum resistance by 18%. And when releasing an energy burst, the crit damage of allies within a 9 grid area, so basically your entire side of the field, increases by 10%, lasting up to 2 turns. Absolutely insane. You're increasing the energy burst of your allies by over 30% at max stacks, maybe even more, 50% energy burst boost, as well as a 10% crit damage boost. And if you have her Ascension 3, you get an extra 5% crit damage boost, along with more corrosion damage every time you cast your skill. Yeah, Ifrit is absolutely insane. Okay, so now let's go over her model sets. So I just finished building this because I had her built a bit more defensively to survive Union Siege, but I'm kind of going all in on Entropy Cataclysm because right now it is the main source of free-to-play access to Stellaron resonance bottles. So for this reason, I'm going 4-piece quantum because you're running her in a mono quantum team, and then 2-piece break. This is all you need, guys. Some people say go 4-piece break, but personally, if you're running Ifrit with Newcastle, which you should, if you're running double breaker in a mono quantum team, you're going to vaporize the tenacity gauge every other round, whether you have a 2-piece or 4-piece on her. So for this reason, you know, Ifrit does decent damage herself, so might as well optimize her damage as well. So yeah, I like this a lot. Remodel effects, try to get 6 out of 6 speed, along with as much crit rate, crit damage, and attack as possible. The attack will matter more if you have her Ascension 3 or higher, like I mentioned before. And then with regards to the stats, so speed, non-negotiable. You can either go crit rate, crit damage if you want to boost her damage output, or if you have her Ascension 3 or 6 and want to really capitalize on those Ascension abilities, you can go base attack and attack. Okay, and then for her signature sigil, personally, I decided to build her pure offense because the thing is, you're going to run her with Tia, and Tia is supposed to be run quickly because you want to run her such that she casts her stargazing state before the enemies start to move. And so for this reason, usually your Tia will be one of the fastest, so there's no point in really making Ifrit super fast just because Tia is going to be faster anyway. So for this reason, I went with the 3 best offensive stats for her: crit rate, quantum damage, defense penetration, but crit damage and speed also work. I do want to mention, by the way, I've never mentioned this before, that eventually for Entropy Cataclysm we will face a boss who I think as part of her kit makes it so you're able to energy burst every turn, which makes Tia much less effective as a damage dealer because yeah, you want to prioritize damage dealers who love to energy burst every turn, such as White Rose or Zephyrine. So yeah, I just mentioned that, I just thought of it. Okay, so now let's go over a PvP showcase. So the team that I want to feature for today is going to be this team right here. I think this is a very realistic team for newer players who joined around the time that that Frost Jade's limited time banner released, and maybe you have, you secured Ifrit yesterday and you happen to have another DPS like Ukali or Tia. Just insert any DPS here, but I went with Tia because Tia will benefit from the additional bonuses that Ifrit applies to same element operators. And I put my my Lang Jiao here because my Ifrit has Ascension 3, so my Lang Jiao will actually be doing corrosion damage thanks to this right here. Yeah, adds a portion of Ifrit's attack as corrosion damage to skill attacks. So I would imagine that this additional corrosion damage is quantum. Yes, so my Lang Jiao will be doing some quantum damage as well. And actually, now that I think about it, is this a 3x3 grid or no? Yeah, it is a 3x3 grid, so positioning does matter. Oh, another fun fact that I never mentioned before, for the JP server, Ifrit's mental body was just released, and that mental body makes it so that Ifrit's buff is not tied down to position. So instead of 3x3 grid, you don't need to worry about that. So Ifrit is going to be extremely future-proof. But yeah, anyways, essentially you have a speed tuner, you have a speed tuner / crowd control, you have heals and revives, you got your support, sub DPS, and you have your main DPS. Okay, let's go ahead and do a showcase. Let's see who we're going to face today. Okay, I faced Raikiri last time. Oh, okay. Shout out to Cynetic. Cynetic is a live streamer. Yeah, shout out to you, my man. Let's go ahead and challenge him. I'm really curious what he runs. Interesting. Okay, so very solid team right here. This is an Abyssalesia Rose Hyper Carry. I'm going to start off with some speed tuning here. Oh, he's not running Frost Jade. Interesting. Okay, we cast a Stargaze State. Okay, now he's speed tuning. And I would presume his Lilia is at least Ascension 3. Okay, follow-up attack. Okay, Abyssalesia revives and bursts. Okay, now it's round 2. Oh, and by the way, Turn's Energy Burst also makes all allies do quantum damage. Okay, I know Ifrit didn't do a whole lot there, but remember that Ifrit is playing a supportive role. She does decent damage, but she's really enhancing the damage output of your party. Yeah, so as you can see here, yeah, a pretty solid team, I would say. Works quite well. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care.